All right, so we are officially live. I have just a quick screen share that I'm going to put up while students are trickling in today, if my share screen button will work. All right, perfect. So, hey, first off, as you can imagine, huge welcome. This is the virtual college exploration for all Pennsylvania students, sponsored by the Pennsylvania Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. PACAC is a nonprofit organization comprised of more than 1,200 school counselors, college admission counselors, independent education consultants, and other professionals responsible for guiding students through the important transition from high school to post-secondary options. Thanks for joining. Very quick housekeeping before we get started. Please feel free to use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and your microphone are off, so our panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of our many sessions happening, so please be sure to check out the full schedule at pacac.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at that same website, pacac.org. And with that, I'd love to turn it over to our presenters.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're so excited to be with you today. Welcome to the state of Indiana, as it is virtually. So Indiana, the Crossroads of America. I'm Jill Shimmick. I'm a Senior Assistant Director of Admissions for Indiana University Bloomington campus. I have worked in admissions for IU since winter of 2012. So I'm coming up on almost 9 years. I worked in Bloomington on our campus for several years, but since 2016, I've been based on the East Coast. And so in normal times, you would be seeing me in person, hopefully, in Pennsylvania. I don't cover the whole state of Pennsylvania, but I do cover the Philadelphia area and surrounding counties. So if you're on that side of the state, you can always reach out to me. If you're not, you can still reach out to me, and I can always put you in touch with Marnie, who is the rep for Western Pennsylvania for us.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Gennardo, and I'm the Assistant Director of Admission at Butler University, also in Indiana, in Indianapolis, and we'll talk about all of our locations in a little bit. Like Jill, I'm also a regional admission counselor for Butler. So I live in Arlington, Virginia, just right outside Washington, D.C., and recruit students in the Mid-Atlantic and New England states. I also have kind of the majority of Pennsylvania, except for kind of the southwestern part, including Allegheny County. So like those folks in Pittsburgh, feel free to reach out to me and I can put you in contact with my colleague, Rebecca Taylor. But for everyone else, I would be your admission counselor. I've been working in admission for, oh my gosh, almost 7+ years now, and have been recruiting in Pennsylvania for that time. So very familiar with working with students from Pennsylvania. And so we're really excited to have you today.
And good afternoon, everybody. I'm Ben Hatchett, Assistant Director of Admission at DePauw University. I'm celebrating year 4 working at DePauw and also spent 4 years as a student. So going on 8 consecutively here in Greencastle, Indiana. And we prepared an awesome session and have a lot of fun things to share with you. And I recruit all of Pennsylvania, not to offend our Philly side of the room, but I am a huge Pittsburgh Penguins fan. So I personally love the Western PA, but I can't wait till we work with everyone, of course. And I feel like we're all Zoom experts by now, but for some reason it didn't present on my end. Can you all see this slide? Okay.
We can.
Very good.
So our 3 universities, Butler in Indianapolis, DePauw in Greencastle, and Indiana University Bloomington in Bloomington, each offer a unique take on what an Indiana college experience can entail. From charming town squares to the excitement of downtown city life and small liberal arts colleges to comprehensive public universities, your future college home could be waiting for you in Indiana. We'll tell you more about what to expect about life in Indiana, everything from how to get here to our favorite spots to spend time, as well as more about each of our individual schools. Indiana's state motto, the Crossroads of America, comes from the state's very literal position as the crossroads of many U.S. highways and interstates. Interstates 80, 70, and 64 all cross our state from east to west, and Interstate 65 connects Hoosiers to places north like Chicago and south like Louisville, Kentucky, and Nashville, Tennessee. Indianapolis is our state capital and is just 3.5 hours south of Chicago, Illinois, 2 hours north of Louisville, Kentucky, and 4 hours east of St. Louis, Missouri. We should also note that driving in the Midwest is not like driving on the East Coast. You're not going to be stuck on something like insane like the I-95 corridor for hours at a time. Traffic is much lighter, and once you're on a major highway in the Midwest, travel moves at about the pace of a mile a minute. So this makes exploring places around our colleges really easy and also more relaxing than what you find on the East Coast. So Indiana is not only easily accessible by road, but flying here is a breeze through the Indianapolis International Airport. And I always sound like kind of crazy for talking an airport up, but all three of us really do love this airport. It's the picture in the top right-hand corner of this particular slide. It's consistently ranked as at the top of Travel and Leisure's list of best domestic airports. There's a really open contemporary design that offers like really quick security lines. I think the longest I've ever stood in line is maybe 10 minutes, and that was on a spring break week. There's plenty of charging stations and lots of open seating. And there's also convenient access, not only to Indianapolis, it's only about 9 miles from downtown Indy, but it's also within an hour drive of both Bloomington and Greencastle. The climate in central Indiana showcases all 4 seasons. There's a mild winter, a long spring, and a long fall, and then a summer that's notably less humid than what the Mid-Atlantic experiences.
Yeah, for some reason I've got to like hit slides multiple times right now. Do you see the sports slide here? Very good. So not only is Indiana an easy place to visit and a fun one to visit at that, but you have a huge sports culture located just in the heart of the Midwest and in the center of the state, Indianapolis, our capital. As you can see on this screen right now, we have professional football, basketball, hockey, baseball, including racing, and many more things you have to look forward to. At the professional level, we have pro sports teams for the NBA and the Pacers and the WNBA and the Fever. At the National Football League level, we have the Indianapolis Colts. We have several pro baseball, pro soccer, pro hockey, and different lower level teams represented. But also in Indianapolis, you're going to enter the racing capital of the world, home and birthplace of IndyCar. Here's where you can experience the world's oldest and most famous auto racing track. And since 1909, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway has been home of the Indianapolis 500. Each year, hundreds of thousands of spectators and guests will attend races, but most famously, of the IndyCar series, the Indianapolis 500 takes place usually in the spring. This year looked a little bit different, taking place in the fall. And then it usually will have the Brickyard 400 of the NASCAR series featuring a race there. All of these feature a 2.5 mile oval track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. In addition, on the screen, you can see the NCAA national headquarters and front office is actually located prominently in downtown Indianapolis. Included in the NCAA complex is a collegiate athletics museum and the Hall of Champions, featuring an immersive and interactive showcase of achievements across the conference's 24 athletic programs. Each year you can expect regional tournaments and national events coinciding with the NCAA, especially each spring when the March Madness college basketball tournament rolls into town and is often hosted at the regional and national levels for the tournament in Indianapolis. Indiana is often associated with basketball, being a lead producer of top caliber basketball players and collegiate talent. Butler University and Indiana University have storied programs of success at the Division I level, whereas DePauw remains a D3 women's basketball powerhouse. Each year and each school has had success throughout their levels, and on this slide you can see Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis is one of many historic venues just for basketball. Hinkle Fieldhouse is in Indianapolis is one of several historic venues, and this is where the home of the Butler Bulldogs and it's been used as such since 1928. It was the largest basketball arena at the time until 1950. And not only do our college campuses have some pretty great basketball courts and spaces, but one thing that's unique about Indiana for sure is that every high school program also has a gymnasium, an almost stadium of sorts at the miniaturized level built up around their basketball program. So ball is very much a way of life here in the Hoosier State.
So we know that every college student will need to take a break at some point from being on campus and like sometimes what feels like insanity of studying and writing papers and all of that. The state of Indiana boasts 24 state parks, as well as the newest national park, the Indiana Dunes National Park along the shore of Lake Michigan. There are several unique parks within 1 to 2 hours driving distance of our schools, including Shades and Turkey Run State Parks, which offer opportunities to hike and canoe along the Sugar Creek while taking in gorgeous sandstone cliffs. And then wintertime, you'll want to come back to the parks to search the area for bald eagles. They have one of the highest concentrations of bald eagles in the state there. Indiana's largest state park is Brown County State Park, located about 20 miles east of Bloomington. You can climb up the 90-foot-high Fireman's Tower for spectacular views of the best fall foliage in the Midwest. And you can learn why locals refer to Brown County as the Little Smokies. It's like nothing that you would expect to find in Indiana, and it's right there. McCormick's Creek State Park is another great state park that gives you a glimpse into Indiana's famed limestone. So when you step into this really cool limestone canyon, and you can actually see part of that canyon in the top right-hand picture in the little waterfall. Indiana limestone is known worldwide, and it's been used on the Empire State Building, the Pentagon, National Cathedral, even on the Biltmore Estate in North Carolina. One of my favorite things about McCormick's Creek is spotting the ancient sinkholes that are right off the hiking trails. So I just really love getting to actually like see geology and the things that you learn about in science class in real life.
And we've got like peak Indiana foliage. I'm currently in Indiana. Fall has arrived and it's beautiful here right now.
Oh, jealous.
Yes, very jealous. It's not quite that here in the DC area just yet, just a couple more weeks. So each one of our colleges is actually located in a very different setting, all in central Indiana. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about each one of our schools right now. So Butler is a mid-sized private university located in a residential neighborhood just shy of 5 miles north of downtown Indianapolis. I know we've talked about Indianapolis a little bit thus far, but Indy is the 17th largest city in the United States, and Butler students really take advantage of the campus location by doing internships or, engaging in the community through community service and attending lots of cultural events or sporting events, again, obviously in normal times when things are open and up and running. At Butler, because we're located in a kind of a neighborhood, there isn't really a college town or even little downtown near us. So our students will typically kind of hang out in the Broad Ripple Village neighborhood, which is one of the cultural neighborhoods of the city of Indianapolis. It's about 2.5 miles northeast of campus. And personally, some of my favorite restaurants are actually located in Broad Ripple. So every time I come to campus, got to go hit up Broad Ripple, got to go check out those restaurants. DePauw is a private liberal arts college in a more rural setting in Greencastle, which is a small town about 45 miles southwest of the city of Indianapolis. DePauw is a 100% residential college where students live on campus for their 4 years. And students actually can go explore DePauw's Nature Park and all 695 acres that kind of make up the campus, or they can head into Greencastle to enjoy the quintessential small Midwestern town square with a variety of different restaurants that are all walkable and very welcoming. Lastly, IU is that big school in a small city with about 33,000 undergraduates and an 80,000 kind of year-round total residents in Bloomington. Life revolves around the university calendar. Whether it's a football game or graduation weekend, there's always something going on. Students can bike along the Beeline Trail that kind of snakes through downtown Bloomington, or grab a bite to eat at Nick's English Hut. IU students are really kind of the fabric of Bloomington. Downtown Bloomington is steps from campus, and it lives up to its reputation as a foodie town. You're going to find lots of variety of lots of different kinds of restaurants featuring things such as pub fare, all the way to, cuisines from all around the world.
So in addition to our locations and what you have to look forward to on each of our campuses, we also want to tell you a little bit about some fun traditions. Each three of our schools have been around for a little while now, and with that comes some exciting things that our students take advantage of. So to begin, on your screen right now, you can see the Little 500. It's one of the most unique traditions in collegiate sports and is celebrated at both DePauw University and Indiana University. Little 500 is a bike relay race, and it's been immortalized in the 1978 film Breaking Away. It's an iconic campus tradition, and where it really brings in the whole community together for a series of events and pays homage to the Indianapolis 500 race happening each spring that we referenced earlier. At IU, the spring races bring campus together to celebrate student athletic achievement and a final gathering before final exams begin. It's a great way to culminate the end of that semester before everybody hits the grind at the final stretch. And then in addition to that, leading up to a final race, often televised on ESPN3, teams participate in a series of qualifying races that are just as celebratory. At DePauw, it operates fairly similarly. Each spring includes a series of races and campus events that make up one of the greatest spectacles on campus. Students field teams to compete in 3 events that make up the total Little 5. It begins with time trials. The top 16 riders will make street sprints. It's a kilometer sprint down our main entrance. And then the criterium race brings all the riders together for that large race kind of pack-driven event that, if you're familiar with like the Tour de France and those big bike races, that's kind of what it resembles on both of our campuses. At the end, a overall winner and a team winner. So you have individual and team honors awarded, and of course, bragging rights for the rest of the year come with that. Let's see, hold on. Also, we have Dance Marathon, where all 3 of our schools support Riley Hospital for Children. It's for the kids and goes to a great cause where each of our student bodies will come together for a full day of events. They'll dance it out, but raise money that all goes towards children at Riley Hospital for Children. DePauw's Monon Bell Classic is one of a huge staples at the Division III sports level. It's actually the only televised D3 event. It's the picture you see in the top right corner of your screen. Each of our teams, DePauw and Wabash College, they're an all-male school in Crawfordsville, Indiana, battle it out for this great big 300-pound bell. The winner gets to keep it for the next year. It celebrated its 126th running this last year. Unfortunately, fall sports were canceled, but maybe we'll be able to have that event in the spring. The big thing for us, we get to keep that bell for another year. Homecoming at Butler. This is a huge campus community event that Butler looks forward to each and every year. The campus comes alive with fun competitions among the student body. Greek houses partner together with residence halls for lawn decorating in accordance to the year's theme. On the morning of homecoming, Butler fraternities compete in a fast-paced chariot race down Hampton Drive. Homecoming is a way for the campus to celebrate their Bulldog pride. We've already talked a little bit about basketball, and we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about it here when it comes to traditions. So at Butler, during March Madness for men's basketball games, students will storm the streets of campus after a Bulldog win. And over in Bloomington, Hoosier Hysteria is the first open basketball practice of the year at IU. Students start lining up outside of Assembly Hall early in the morning just so they can get a first view of the IU's men's and women's teams in action before the season.
So to continue on with traditions, we thought it would be fun to talk about all of our mascots because they are very important to all of our schools. So at Butler, we actually have a live Bulldog mascot program, as you can see on the image on the left-hand side. His official name is Butler Blue IV, but we actually just refer to him as Blue. Blue is an English Bulldog and actually started his terms of service in February of 2020, taking over the reins from our previous mascot trip. It was actually, there was a nice changing of the collar ceremony in early March, so we're really excited. We actually got to get to have that event, before everything got shut down this past year. So Blue is absolutely adorable, and if you come to campus, you will most likely see him roaming around, get your picture with him. I would definitely recommend any students listening in today, pull out your phone, go on Instagram and follow him at the Butler Blue, because he has a pretty solid social media presence. And in normal times, we will also do like pod deliveries where we will surprise accepted students with the dog at their front door. So we love that we get to have this little guy around and do some fun, different kind of marketing and fun things with our students, both prospective students and current students.
So at IU Bloomington, we are mascotless, but it's not for lack of trying. Multiple mascots were chosen throughout the 20th century, including, we went through an owl, a raccoon, a goat, even a bison. Students in the 60s even campaigned to have a live bison running around Memorial Stadium on game days. It was shot down by the administration, and the Hoosiers have been proudly mascotless since the 1970s.
And over here at DePauw is home to Tigers. Our beloved mascot, Tyler the Tiger, will make routine appearances across campus during athletic events and just campus gatherings. If something's going on, Tyler's probably going to be there. Over the years, Tyler has taken on a variety of different forms, and unfortunately, but maybe for the best, today he isn't a live tiger per se, but he's still very much our Tiger King. We think Tyler's pretty lively for all you cool cats and kittens out there, but if you're looking for more tigers, you'll find no better place than the Exotic Feline Rescue Center. It's actually just 30 minutes from campus and often a popular destination for family weekends, and it's a lot of fun. But Tyler the Tiger is, of course, the mascot of DePauw.
Something that you will find when you actually come and visit the Midwest is Midwestern, or what we refer to as Hoosier hospitality. Folks in the Midwest are just really friendly, to be honest, and really just want to engage in some conversation with you when you, stop at a restaurant or even just at a convenience store or something like that. So this is something that you're going to see on all of our college campuses when you're walking to and from class. People you may or may not even know will just kind of give you a wave, smile at you, and, just kind of be on their way. As an East Coaster, growing up in the DC area, when the first time I went out to the Midwest and someone at the airport, really just wanted to see how my day was going, I was a little thrown off, to be honest, because that just doesn't happen so much out here. So, all of our students and our campuses are super welcoming, and our students just love to engage with one another, and always are looking to meet new folks kind of across campus. So anytime you come to campus, you'll definitely see a nice, smiling, friendly face. So we are actually going to switch gears slightly here. And we, just talked all about Central Indiana and all the great things about our schools. But now each one of us is going to spend a little bit of time diving a little bit deeper into our schools so that you all can learn a little bit more. So up first at Butler, as I mentioned earlier, Butler is a private, non-religiously affiliated mid-sized university located in the city limits of Indianapolis, Indiana. We have just under about 4,700 undergraduate students and about 500 graduate students. So we are considered that, mid-sized school. While located in the city limits of Indianapolis, we are only 5 miles north of downtown in a residential neighborhood, so by no means an urban campus. We're known for providing small classes, opportunities to engage directly with professors, and real-world experience through internships, research with faculty mentors, performances, and community engagement. The student population at Butler has changed a lot over the last 10 years, with now about 55% of our students coming from out of state. In Pennsylvania, there's a decent number of students coming from Pennsylvania every year, which is really exciting. Our first deadline is early action of November 1st. Our regular decision deadline is February 1st. And our middle 50% range for admission, academically speaking, is about a 3.6 to 4.1 weighted GPA, so A's and B's, a 24 to a 30 ACT, an 1150 to 1300 SAT. We have moved to a test optional admission policy for this year and moving forward, and all students will be automatically considered for merit-based scholarships when they apply to the university, regardless of if they submit test scores or not. Butler was founded as a liberal arts institution, and that still serves as our educational foundation today. With the average class size at 22 and the student to faculty ratio of 11:1, you're going to find your classroom experience to be very student focused and engaging. Your professors will get to know you, and you'll get to know your classmates really well through lots of discussions and group projects. We don't really have many large lecture halls on our campus, and most of those classes will be in those smaller classrooms. We have 6 different academic colleges that focus on communication, education, liberal arts and sciences, pharmacy and health sciences, visual and performing arts, and business. For students who are kind of unsure what they want to study, we do offer an exploratory studies program. Students will start taking courses in their major during their first year, in addition to taking classes in our core curriculum. A unique feature of our core is our Indianapolis community requirement. As I mentioned again, our location really plays into this. Students participate in a course where service in the community is actually integrated into the curriculum. While not a requirement for all majors, about 75% of our students complete at least one internship before they graduate. And many of our students, again, take advantage of our location in the city to do an internship during the academic year, but you can always come home and do something in your hometown or in another major city over the summer or winter break. Even though our students love the city, about 40% of Butler students do spend at least one semester away studying abroad. We have over 200 programs in 60 different countries that our students have the opportunity to take advantage of. Because of these hands-on experiences, Butler students have gained significant success after graduation, as demonstrated by our 98% placement rate within 6 months of graduation. So that's students who are employed or in grad school. Butler is a residential campus with a 3-year housing requirement, and over the last 5 years, we've built 2 new residence halls, one for first year and one for sophomores, with the focus on suite style living. Last summer, we partnered with a new dining service, Bon Appetit, and they specialize in sustainability and work with local farmers. As all of us are in central Indiana, we love that we can work with some local farmers and support local business. We have about 130 clubs and organizations in active Greek life, with about 35% of our students participating, and 20 Division I athletic teams. Students have access to free tickets for all of our sporting events. And if you're a member of the Dog Pound, which is our official student section, you'll get special access to men's basketball game tickets. Something that all of our schools have in common is our school pride and great school spirit. And at Butler, that's represented through the Butler Way and the community of care.
So Sarah shared a little bit with you about DePauw briefly, that we're a small private liberal arts college located in Greencastle, just outside the city of Indianapolis, but definitely that great blend. We're definitely rural in location, but really close to those outer suburbs of Indianapolis and really close to a lot of things going on. But we were founded in 1837, and DePauw celebrates just over 180 years of academic excellence and really a commitment to our students and their success. Here is where you're going to build community across our Tiger family and foster those close relationships with professors. On this slide right here, you can see that we've got 8-to-1 in terms of that student-faculty ratio, where this is definitely a place where it's hard to hide in the classroom. The professors want to get to know you and hear your thoughts, opinions, and beliefs. We definitely have small class sizes, and very rarely will you ever encounter that lecture-driven heavy class. You'll enter those small class sizes where you can foster those relationships with professors, and in that space is where you can have those active and value discussions where you are a member of that community, that class, and not just a number. Outside of the class, you might be a member of championship caliber Division III sports. We have a little close to about 30% of our student body getting involved in some form of Division III athletics, which just adds that sense of community. Or you yourself might be an artist or a musician on stage within the School of Music. DePauw has 2 schools that you are able to take classes in. Most of our students are in the College of Liberal Arts, but our small but mighty few in the School of Music are containing their education in an audition-based School of Music. You'll be able to enjoy over 120 different clubs and organizations, all the while pursuing internships, study abroad experiences, and more. You don't have to sign up for all 120. Maybe it's best to pick, a handful that you enjoy and want to check out in that first semester or first year in college. But we require you to get out of that classroom. And I'm sure many of you thought today that you're going to be hearing from colleges and learning about what's happening in class. And that's a big part about DePauw. But we require you to complete 2 out-of-class experiences that we call extended studies. So it's here in this requirement that you're actually able to explore and expand upon what you're learning in the classroom, where you're able to dive into an off-campus experience. And that could be an internship, a study abroad experience, or a short-term experience where you're doing research or shadowing something at a month to a semester level. With all of these things in mind, during your time at DePauw and after, you'll be connected with our graduate network and become a member of an active alumni association. Right now, we're a smaller school, but have an active alumni presence of over 35,000 strong that are always giving their time, now more than ever, maybe over Zoom, to get to know you and work with you as you navigate years 1 through 4 as a DePauw Tiger, and then figure out what happens when you enter that fun but maybe tumultuous real world, where you have that support network the moment you get here and they don't disappear. So at just around 2,000 students, you can pursue your studies in either our College Liberal Arts or that School of Music. In the College Liberal Arts, we have 49 different majors and 56 minors spread out across academic departments. So hopefully there's something on there for you. What we really want you to do is get here. It's awesome if you have an idea today of what you're hoping to study in college. Our students really wait, though, until second semester of their sophomore year to officially lock in and declare that major. No 2 DePauw students are ever taking the same curriculum, so you get here, figure it out. There's, of course, classes that will guide you in that, but this is really driven by what you're wanting to study and maybe what might interest you. DePauw Tigers stretch the globe, and our current student body represents 39 states and 39 countries. And while we proudly call the Midwest home, we have more than just Indiana represented. This year, DePauw welcomed one of our more diverse incoming student body populations, growing, of course, our commitment to diversity and inclusion. And today's campus is represented at 55% Caucasian, our incoming class, and 19% international. And over a quarter of our students at DePauw across the board identify as being part of multicultural communities and backgrounds from all over. So really proud of all the stripes that make up the Tiger family, of course. And we can't wait to work with you as you continue your college search. And if a small private liberal arts college is what you're looking for, you're going to find no better place than here in small town Greencastle, Indiana.
All right, and now on to IU. We were established in 1820, and since that time, IU has built a strong tradition of excellence and innovation, from nationally recognized academic programs to 24 Division I varsity athletics, all in one of the most beautiful campuses in the country. IU will offer you rich experiences inside the classroom and out. Our 33,000 undergraduate students hail from all 50 states and over 130 countries. IU celebrates not only the geographic diversity of our student body, but its ethnic, religious, political, and socioeconomic diversity that makes our learning community rich. 25% of our student body are domestic students of color. The heart of an IU education is the ability for our students to customize their educational experiences. Our 12 schools offer more than 200 majors to choose from, meaning there's something for everyone. Students will be able to work with academic advisors and faculty to create an academic program that's uniquely customized to them. Whether it's pursuing a double major, multiple minors, or even creating your own major through our individualized major program, IU students are working towards jobs that are not yet imagined. IU student support services help our students succeed during their time at IU and beyond. Through individualized academic advising sessions, academic support centers throughout our campus that offer group and individual tutoring, and our Wells Library Learning Commons, students have access to tools to help them become the best student that they can be. IU's career services help our students begin their careers before they leave our campus by starting early and finishing strong. Our Career Development Center helps students who are still exploring their options understand their skills and interests and help them navigate IU majors that will help them find work in their field of choice. And then once a student has declared a major, they'll take classes with one of our 12 school-specific career centers and have access to resume workshops, internship and career fairs, and the hundreds of employers that come to our campus annually to hire IU students. Over 30% of IU students will study abroad at least once before they graduate. IU offers over 300 study abroad programs in more than 60 countries and in 18 languages, including English. More and more, we're seeing our students combine their overseas study with an internship or hands-on research experience while they're abroad. At IU, what you learn outside of the classroom will be as valuable as what you learn in your classes. With over 750 student organizations, 55 club and intramural sports, and a thriving arts and culture community that boasts over 1,800 performances on campus every year. From watching an opera staged by the world-class Jacobs School of Music at IU, to touring the Eskenazi Museum of Art, you'll find that the cultural resources on our campus and in the city of Bloomington rival that of a much larger city. Hoosier spirit is alive and well on the IU campus. Of our 24 varsity sports, the only two that our students pay to go see are football and men's basketball, and roughly half of our undergraduates will purchase season tickets to these two sports. Assembly Hall boasts the largest student section in NCAA basketball and is known as the hardest place to be a visiting team. Again, going back to like basketball is life in Indiana. Hoosier hospitality is exhibited throughout our state and throughout Bloomington and can be seen on our campus through Culture of Care. And Culture of Care is a campus-wide, student-led and staff-supported initiative that's focused on creating a campus culture in which members of the Indiana University Bloomington community demonstrate care for one another. Through bystander intervention, the Culture of Care initiative empowers our students to support their peers. The Culture of Care promotes helping one another, behavioral change, and raising awareness in 4 core areas: sexual well-being, mental health, alcohol and drug awareness, and respect. If you're considering applying to IU, I strongly encourage prospective students to apply by our non-binding early action deadline of November 1st. Applying early action offers our students the highest admission consideration and scholarships. Early action applicants will also hear back from us early, letting you enjoy more of your senior year. The middle 50% of students who are admitted to IU for fall 2020 had high school GPAs between 3.61 and 4.0, and SAT scores between 1160 and 1370, and ACT scores between 25 and 32. In regards to test scores, IU is a test optional institution. And so if you have test scores and they are within that middle 50% range or exceed them, I'd encourage you to submit them. All of our institutions, all of our jobs are to look for reasons to admit you. And so test scores that are in our middle 50% ranges would be a reason to admit you. So you won't be at a disadvantage for sending them or not sending them either if you are choosing not to submit scores. That is what test optional means. It means that they are optional. Students can submit a complete application through our internal application, Apply IU, or through the Common Application or Coalition application. Our application fee and essay are the same on all 3 platforms, so please just choose whatever is the most convenient way for you to apply. In addition to the application, we'll also need an official high school transcript. If you're going to apply with test scores, you can self-report those on your application. And then, yeah, all of our students, including our test optional students who apply by November 1st, will have full access to merit scholarships and direct admission programs. We encourage you to reach out to us individually if you have any specific questions regarding our institutions. However, we do have time for questions this afternoon if you would like to ask us any questions using the Q&A feature at the bottom of the screen.
We'll wait a few seconds for some of those questions to come in. We have a few questions we thought of as well. So we've got a few things if we need to. One thing that I think we might have a few updates. Friends, what unique things are happening on campus to build community, shake things up amid pandemic?
Yeah, that's a great question, Ben. So I think all of us are on campus in some capacity with students on campus, which is awesome. We're super excited about that. At Butler, our student government association has been awesome in planning different programming for kids and students on campus, weekend events, and trying to keep things fun. We understand it's not a normal year, and so we aren't able to have, huge, large-scale events. I know Ben mentioned our homecoming. I think it was last weekend or 2 weekends ago now. I don't even know what day of the week it is. But we had Butler at homecoming. So they did a fun little thing with that, and they did lots of events for the alumni and current students. So, trying to be creative and keep our students engaged as well as our alums engaged, kind of in a virtual time.
That's awesome.
We started at IU, we started helping students connect and build relationships during our virtual orientation. I think that one of the best decisions that we made this year was to take our orientation virtual early in the spring, because it gave us lots of time to plan ways for students to connect. And so there were all kinds of like games that were hosted during orientation and during our like welcome, what we called it used to be welcome week. This year it was weeks of welcome, helping our students adjust to life on campus or virtual life. Since students didn't have to return on campus this year, they could be all virtual if they wanted to. So we've been doing a lot of like virtual scavenger hunts and things like that with new students. But then for those students who are on campus, we're utilizing our ginormous, beautiful campus to do things outside. So there have been outdoor concerts. The marching band has been performing outside. And what I love about this is the marching band, the instruments have masks. In addition to students wearing masks, the instruments are wearing them as well. So there have been concerts, there have been outdoor movie nights and things like that happening throughout the fall semester. So hopefully we get like good weather in Indiana so that we can continue those outdoor events a little bit longer.
Awesome. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with hopefully we'll have a nice fall, a long fall, and then everybody can head home before it gets too cold and we'll be all great. At DePauw, we have close to 700 acres that make up our campus. 500 of it is a nature park. So now more than ever, we've tried to get creative too, to figure out how to use our spaces. For the first time ever, we have outdoor classrooms. So we've got giant tents set up all over campus. And I love Jill's point about the music, because I've walked around and caught several of our School of Music classes being outside. And while it wasn't intended to be an outdoor concert, there definitely has been groups congregate afar to listen to some of those classes take place. We have always had campus golf as a big popular pastime. I was following the university Instagram today, and kits were distributed to students. All you need is a golf club and a tennis ball, and you play at any spot on campus. So campus golf is actually more organized this year than ever before. We installed disc golf out in our South Quad. It's a cluster of residence halls just for first years, and everybody on campus got a disc. So I've seen you can play to those baskets or just play around outside. And our campus farm has been a lot more popular this year, where you can get out and farm or just try some fresh produce and appropriately distance outside in the sunshine. Well, we have a few minutes left. Indiana friends and colleagues, what piece of advice do you have for our students in the room?
Yeah, I'll start. My piece of advice is always, in normal times, is to work on college stuff outside of the house, like once a week with your family or whoever your adult is that's kind of helping you, if you have someone helping you through the process. Obviously this year, I'd always suggest like a Panera or a Starbucks. So now more than ever, maybe just carve out an hour or 2 hours a week where you designate talking about college and working through all of these things, so that when you gather around the dinner table or just, are done with your virtual school day, you're not getting annoyed that your parents are asking you these questions, and the parents aren't getting annoyed that the students aren't working through these things. So just kind of find that one specific time that works best for you to kind of work on all of the essays and applications and talk about the college process. So, and then maybe once this is all over, go treat yourself to, some ice cream or something at one of your favorite spots.
I think knowing when the deadlines are and knowing like what you have to submit where is really important. And so creating a spreadsheet for yourself to keep track of all of the different pieces of the application for each of the schools you're applying to. So we all have slightly different deadlines. We all have slightly different essays. We all have like all of these things, and just taking note of when you finish them, when you submit these things, so that you can, when you have those conversations as a family, you can say, look what I did this week. and you can not only like, will it take some stress off of you? I feel like, at least for me, when I check things off my to-do list, it gives me a sense of accomplishment. And so having that, I think especially right now is really important, because every day does kind of feel the same right now. And so if you can just see what you've done and what you've accomplished, I think that will be helpful, both mentally, but also for you to actually get through this process.
On our final minute, I'm just going to kind of say, have fun with it. Good luck through the search, this process. It's not how any of us intended. I'm sure not you at all. How you plan to, hey, what's the college search going to be like? Let's do it in a pandemic. Why not? We are here. We're all getting through this together, and all of our schools are trying to do a lot of planning and events. So great job visiting a session like today. Take advantage of your virtual offerings and get to know your schools.
And hey, that was amazing. So I officially feel very ready to visit Indiana, is my unofficial addition to this. So I'm just going to wrap this up by sharing my screen, and just a huge thank you, of course, to our panelists and to the students joining us today. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey, and we do really appreciate any feedback that you can provide. And just as a reminder, as I said at the beginning, this is just one of the many sessions being hosted. We would love to see you back for other ones, so please feel free to sign up at pacac.org. On the same website, in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recordings, as well as the recordings of all of our other sessions. Same website, pacac.org. And that's my dog officially growling to say we have reached time. Thank you all so much. Have a great night.